All right, so we'll dig into the recording options now as far as recording of calls go. So we've got quite a number of things that we can set up here. Um, First of all, let's touch briefly on storage locations. If you go back to um, the site survey video that we did, um, we did talk about recording of internal calls, and this customer purchased a 2 terabyte external hard drive from ESI. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that's set up there. We've already configured it, and sorry, we've already physically connected the terabyte device. And I also happen to have a 16 gig SD card in there as well. Um, these things are pretty cheap to come across from various sources. Just make sure it's a class 10 as far as speed goes. Um, and it's a cheap way to very easily expand the eSIP server storage. Um, uh, so as far as the USB port is where we've connected our 2 terabyte drive. We've already gone through here and formatted this drive. All right, so thing we need to double check here and confirm here is the storage location. So um, for the recording of calls, we currently don't have a storage location set yet. Um, we're going to go ahead and have this set to store to the USB drive. Um, Other storage locations can also be uh, defined or changed here as well. And we want to go ahead and we're going to store our voicemail and those one-touch recordings there as well. So we'll go ahead and save and apply that, and then we're going to go back in here to the recording settings. So we want to record internal calls. Um, we don't need to notify anyone or play a prompt that the call is being recorded. Um, and for external calls in this state, um, we don't require two-party um, acceptance of or all parties being notified and accepting the call being recorded. So um, we don't need to put anything here. Um, and then we can define all of the trunk calls that are to be recorded. We want to go ahead and record, let's record all trunks. Just make sure we've got our bases covered there. Um, and then as far as extensions go, we want to record all of our extensions. Conference bridges, we want to do those as well. So with this, we are actually going to be recording all calls, all internal calls, all external calls, all conference bridges. Every call will be recorded and stored to that 2 terabyte um, storage device. Do keep in mind the eSIP platform will allow you to mount a network drive so that you can implement certain things depending on the network storage location. Um, those will be likely configured by the customer's IT admin, or as an MSP, you can set up a whatever network storage location might be needed there. So we'll go ahead and save those settings and apply them as well. All right, so we'll get in here and we'll make sure the emergency number is set up the way that this customer needs. So by default, you'll have a 911 defined here. And let's go in here and check a couple of things. So by default, it's going to use that first um, trunk that is there. If there's a line access that's required to be prepended, put that in there. But we actually want people to be able to call out on either of those trunks, um, not so much the cellular. That's, as everyone well knows, cellular is not the most reliable as far as emergency calling goes, um, especially when it pertains to a business class phone system. So, who do we want to notify? Well, we can add a couple of things here. We want the receptionist to be notified. This system will call that extension and say this extension XYZ has made an emergency call. So when authorities show up, the receptionist is able to direct them uh, to wherever they need to go. If they have uh, a multi-building campus, you likely want to have a reception or someone at each building notified um, that an emergency number has been dialed. But here we just want the receptionist to know, and then let's see, let's also have uh, HR, someone from human resources know as well. So now we have our emergency number set up. If um, if all 23 trunks on the PRI and the FXO are in use, it will kick someone um, to allow that emergency call to go through. All right, save it and apply, and we've got our emergency number configured as desired.